Here we are, almost the end of July, and in a normal year, well, this would be the time when parents and teachers would be getting ready for the new school year. But there are still questions around what back to school is going to be like in 2020. Provinces certainly have begun sharing their plans for what's to come in September. But many parents and teachers are saying they don't make the grade. With that, let's bring in Laura McQuillan, who is tracking this one for us. So at this point, Laura, what are we hearing?
Well, a lot of concern, Michael, as you mentioned, about those plans to reopen, but we're also hearing a lot of frustration in those provinces where plans haven't yet been laid out, with teachers still in limbo and just 6 weeks or so to go. So some provinces, including Ontario, have essentially given 3 different types of plans. That would be a return to class full-time, a mix of full-time, or rather part-time learning in class and then some learning at home, or sticking with remote learning for the coming term. Now, in Ontario, they plan to announce the final plan next week. In the meantime, you've got parents, teachers, students all waiting to see what that might look like. And in fact, one e-learning expert and teacher who we spoke to said that is taking a toll on teachers. Take a listen.
They can't plan for September. They can't plan psychologically in terms of figuring out what risk they're going to assume when they walk into that classroom, provided we're walking back into that classroom. They are frustrated because they're not being heard. There is little formal consultation with teachers.
Now, as we've been hearing from parents for months, they would really like their kids back in class full-time if it is possible, if it is safe. They say, though, if e-learning is the option that is chosen in Ontario, for instance, a lot of improvement is needed. And here's what one mother of 2 told us.
Trying to manage both of them and their homework in French when neither of us speak French was perhaps the biggest challenge. We would do that with one child and then we would do that with another child, and it was, even between the teachers there was just so much disparity in terms of the types of assignments, the volume of assignments that they would give.
And so just there you're hearing some of the frustrations, the concerns that parents are facing, not just if e-learning is the go for the next school year, but in fact if it is the contingency plan, if there were to be outbreaks that forced students back out of full-time classes and back home to learn, Michael.
So still a lot of confusion and concern, as you say here. But talk to us about the provinces, though, where plans have been finalized. What kind of reaction are we seeing there? Yeah,
there are several provinces that have firmed up their plans, including those that will go back to class full-time. We've seen British Columbia, Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan plan to get all students back. In Alberta and Quebec, they're planning to have the younger students back, and that news came out of Alberta earlier this week. Despite this, you've seen them bring down that curve in cases, but it's going back up now. It was some 30 or 40 cases, new cases daily, now 2 to 3 times that, and that has got teachers worried. Some of them spoke at a press conference organised by the opposition NDP party earlier this week.
The minister's plan has very little substance in regards to safety procedures for myself and my students. We cannot wait to get back into the classroom. We need to be able to return to work without putting ourselves in danger. I need to know that when I'm coming home from school, I'm not jeopardizing my family's health. This government does not seem to get that.
Now, officials in Alberta have said there will be new measures in place, things like physical distancing, no large gatherings, and also ideas like putting markers on the floor to keep kids where they need to be going. But teachers say those are going to be a struggle with younger students. They're worried about class sizes, and they are worried too what happens in terms of contingency plans if teachers get sick, or of course if students get sick and they have to revert to what they've been doing so far, Michael.
Laura, thank you for that.